Have you ever heard the rumors about Queen Elizabeth II's darkest secret? Not the scandals whispered in the halls of Buckingham Palace? Not the politics hidden behind royal smiles? No, this is something far more disturbing. Something older and colder than history remembers, a truth so dangerous every trace of it was quietly buried. But fragments remain in forgotten reports, in one disturbing painting, and in the stories passed in secret by those who have seen too much. It all begins in the early 1990s on a remote estate in Norfolk, England, a secluded property owned by the Crown, but absent from tourist maps and royal tours. Locals called it the Hollow Lodge, surrounded by dense forest, shielded by iron gates and crumbling stone walls. It had long served as a private retreat for the monarchy, used sparingly and only by select individuals. In March of 1992, Queen Elizabeth II reportedly visited the lodge. There were no photos, no press, no convoy, just a quiet arrival and an even quieter departure. That was the last time anyone used the estate, because 1 week later the lodge was sealed off indefinitely. Fences erected, all entrances welded shut, and inside, everything was left exactly as it was. Every single thing decades past. But those who remembered the estate spoke of a change in the air surrounding it. Birds wouldn't fly overhead. The forest grew unnaturally dense. Devices failed near the gates. Some claimed to hear tapping noises at night, echoes bouncing across the woods, rhythmic always at 3:06 a.m. when a small group of researchers gained unauthorized entry years later. What they found inside was untouched. Time itself seemed frozen. Plates still set on the dining table, lamps unplugged, even the firewood stacked neatly beside the hearth. But every single clock in the house had stopped 3:06 a.m. Every floor, every room, every timepiece. Then they found the portrait. It hung above the mantel in the main drawing room, massive, over 7 feet tall, painted in thick, dark oils set in a twisted gold frame. It was a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, but not like any ever seen. The Queen's posture was rigid, but wrong, arms stiff, shoulders unnaturally high, her mouth slightly open as if mid-scream, her eyes wide, terrified, not stoic or calm, but truly afraid. So vividly painted that observers reported a chilling sense of eye contact no matter where they stood, as if the painting was watching, following, and worse, it seemed to move. Not overtly, not enough to prove, but enough to make those who looked feel physically ill. The painting, like the estate, had no record, no artist's signature, no entry in royal archives. It simply appeared sometime during that 1992 visit. And from that point on, silence. One of the researchers, a historian named Dr. Eleanor Reeves, became obsessed with the case. She traced stories back to the lodge's construction in the 1800s, when it was allegedly built atop the ruins of a pre-Christian chapel. Villagers had once claimed the area to be cursed, where mirrors could show not what you are, but what waits beneath your reflection. According to Eleanor's recovered notes, there was once a mirror in the upper bedroom of the lodge, an heirloom of unknown origin, hand-blown glass set in an obsidian frame, etched with Latin phrases, one of which she translated to, "What gazes through is not always what gazes back." Rumors say the Queen was left alone in that room for 20 minutes during her visit. When the staff returned, they found her pale, silent, and staring into the glass. After that moment, the mirror was never seen again. But what happened that night never left the house. From the portrait, a trail of anomalies followed. Several staff members involved in the trip resigned quietly in the months after. One, a royal aide, vanished, last seen walking into the woods near the estate. No search was conducted, no report filed. The case was labeled an internal matter by the royal office. And the Queen, she delivered her famous Annus Horribilis speech that same year, calling it the worst year of her reign. But no one ever asked what truly began it. Recently, the portrait resurfaced. A single image of it appeared in an underground auction catalog. No artist, no name. The listing was brief, untitled, provenance royal. No seller disclosed, no buyer listed. The photograph showed the same painting, same expression, same darkness in the canvas. But in the edge of the photo, something chilling was noticed later. A reflection in the glass of the frame. Not of the photographer, but of a different figure. A man standing behind the camera. Only he wasn't in the room when the photo was taken. He wasn't anywhere. Since then, whispers of the painting's new location remain unconfirmed, but those who research its history agree on one thing. The woman in the portrait was not entirely human anymore. They say something came through that mirror in 1992. Something ancient, intelligent, and hungry for identity. What better host than the world's most powerful symbol of order and tradition? Now, in certain private circles, there's a warning. If you hear tapping at